We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF 155, State of Wisconsin versus Gina Pinkshaw. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Vila in person. Ms. Pinkshaw appears in person with counsel Emma Hanu, making a special appearance on her behalf here today. She's filling in for Joel Feliski. We're set for a plea and sentencing. The parties have reached an agreement. Ms. Hanu, can you please recite the agreement for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. My understanding, as well as Ms. Pinkshaw's, is that Ms. Pinkshaw would be entering a plea of guilty to count 2, theft of movable property. Count 1, felony bail jumping, would be dismissed and read in. There would be a joint recommendation for 1 year of probation, no contact with KJ's Fresh Mart in Greensburg, Wisconsin, and court costs.
That's the agreement that's been reached, Mr. Vila?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
We're in victims' rights compliance.
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right. Can I have a plea questionnaire waiver of rights form, please?
Your Honor, I have a virtual one. I am unable to file it into this case.
I was going to say, because I don't have one.
My understanding is that Attorney Feliski went over it with Ms. Pinkshaw, but was unable to get a hold of her this morning. We would have no objection to Your Honor going through the colloquy.
All right.
And I will have him file the unsigned version into the case for the court record.
Okay. Ms. Pinkshaw, did your attorney go over with you the entire plea questionnaire waiver of rights form?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, then you're going to have to just go do it all by yourself.
I will do it, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We will wait and adjourn. We're able to go over a plea questionnaire waiver of rights form with Ms. Pinkshaw.
I would, Your Honor, if I may approach.
You may. Thank you. Ms. Pinkshaw, did Ms. Hanu go over this plea questionnaire and waiver of rights form with you thoroughly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she go over everything essentially word for word?
Yes.
And is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand everything on the document?
Yes.
You are pleading guilty to 1 count of theft, movable property. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are 26 years old. You have 12 years of schooling. You can read, write. You understand the English language. No drugs, alcohol, or medications within the last 24 hours.
No, Your Honor.
No mental illnesses or disorders.
No.
Did Ms. Hanu thoroughly go over with you what the state would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Did Ms. Hanu go over with you the maximum possible penalties you face?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're charged with crimes, you are entitled to constitutional rights, and each of those rights is listed on the first page. Did she thoroughly go over those rights with you?
Yes.
Do you understand them completely?
Yes.
Do you need me to go over those rights with you in any more detail?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving and giving up those rights?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen of the United States, your plea could result in your deportation?
Yes.
Do you understand the state would have to prove on or around July 19, 2025 in Burnett County, Wisconsin, you intentionally took and carried away property which was movable of KJ Fresh Market without consent and with the intent to permanently deprive the owner of ownership of that property? Do you understand what the state would have to prove?
Yes.
You understand the maximum possible penalty could be a fine of up to $10,000 or 9 months of incarceration or both?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand that the agreement of 1 year probation with costs and conditions that I'm not bound to follow that?
Yes.
I could sentence you to the maximum possible penalty or any different type of sentence that I believe is appropriate. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still wish to proceed and enter a guilty plea?
Yes.
Did you go over the criminal complaint with Ms. Hanu? The facts that are alleged in this criminal complaint and why you were charged with the crimes, or did you go over that with Mr. Feliski?
I think I did go over it with Mr. Feliski.
Do you remember that day and what happened essentially on that day?
Yes.
Are you admitting here today you in fact did take something from KJ Fresh Market with the intent to permanently deprive them of their ownership and possession?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had no intent to pay for that matter?
No.
Ms. Hanu, may the court use the probable cause section of the criminal complaint along with the statement made by Ms. Pinkshaw to find a factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any threats or any promises to you for you to plead guilty today?
No.
You're doing so freely and intelligently. That is, you're telling the court you fully understand what you're doing
Yes, ma'am.
and voluntarily.
Yes.
Has Mr. Felisky represented you competently?
Yes.
Has he answered all of your questions?
Yes.
And now Ms. Hanu has went over the plea questionnaire and all of what that entails.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Felisky go over with you the discovery and the evidence in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he went over with you a potential of any defenses or a lack of defenses in the case?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes, ma'am.
And so nobody's threatened you or promised you anything for you to plead guilty?
No.
You're doing so voluntarily, understanding everything that's going on here today?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for the court or for Ms. Hanu before we proceed?
No, ma'am.
As to count 2, theft of movable property and a misdemeanor, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
The court will find your plea of guilt is done knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. I'm going to find that you understand your constitutional rights and what it means to waive and give up those rights. I'm going to find a factual basis to accept your plea of guilt. Based on that, I will find you guilty of count 2. Count 1 will be dismissed and read in for purposes of sentencing. A judgment of conviction will be entered today. Is there restitution being requested?
No, Your Honor.
All right, argument and sentencing recommendation, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think this joint recommendation is appropriate. This is a situation where the store on at least 3 separate instances noticed that they were, for the most part, losing product. They were unable to verify specifically how much they lost, hence why there is no restitution request in this case. It is a theft case, albeit a misdemeanor theft case. I think when your probation is appropriate, this is a situation where the market simply expressed that they want no contact for Ms. Pinkshaw to have no contact with the store. That's all they're requesting. As that, I think we should honor that, and I would ask the court to adopt. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Hanu.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would agree that this is an appropriate recommendation. Ms. Pinkshaw is young. She does not currently have an extensive criminal history. She has some criminal history, but not extensive. The victim in this case has asked for simply a no contact, no restitution. The mechanism of probation ensures that that can be enforced and that can continue. Your probation will give Ms. Pinkshaw access to resources and supervision that will ensure the protection of the community and make sure that she's a productive member.
All right, Ms. Pinkshaw, anything you want to add or you want to state here today?
No, Your Honor.
Having a theft is the least of your concerns criminally and mentally and physically, actually, as well. Sure, you've been told this, or maybe you haven't been told this before, but I don't know why you were shoplifting, but it doesn't matter. Shoplifting is illegal. There's other ways to go about getting resources if you're unable to afford food. The fact that shoplifting causes all of the stores to increase their prices, and it affects everybody, not just the store that's being deprived of the money that they receive for the product. So it has an impact on the entire community and not just one particular store. And so it actually hurts your fellow community members rather than simply the store. And so that is what makes it serious. Apparently, they're not asking for any reimbursement. I think probation sounds appropriate. You are in need of some type of probation right now because you're not on any probation, correct?
Not right now.
But you have open cases in Polk, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're going to see what's going to happen there. I do recall that you are looking at going back to inpatient treatment, and you're going to go down that route, and hopefully you're going to do what it takes to stay in that treatment and to graduate, and do not leave early. That is in your best interest. That is in your unborn child's best interest. That is in your children's best interest to be able to do that. What the court is going to do is I'm going to order a $500 court cost fees and a small fine. With regards to this, put you on probation for the period of 1 year. Conditions of probation: absolute sobriety, no alcohol, no drugs, illegal substances, or any paraphernalia. Regular testing of any of those substances, I'm going to order that you successfully complete your treatment and follow all recommendations. You have 20 days to appeal. Should you fail to appeal within 20 days, you lose that right. I haven't gotten to no contact yet.
Yeah.
Yes. And then no contact with KJ Fresh. And I think there are multiple ones of KJ Fresh, but this one's in the village of Grantsburg. But you aren't going to be able to have any contact with any KJ Fresh markets or their subsidiaries or anything like that. I need your DNA. You're going to need to provide that to the jail. They'll make sure that that they have it. You have the right to request it be expunged through a written letter to the Department of Justice. Any jail credit if she's revoked?
Yes, Your Honor, she would have 8 days of jail credit from April 23rd to April 30th.
8 days jail credit if you're revoked. And I'm doing an imposed but stayed sentence, 6 months of jail. So if you're revoked, you're going to sit 6 months of jail consecutive to any other sentence that you would be sentenced on. So that could be a lot. Hopefully that's going to be enough of a stick over your head to continue to make you want to move forward and be healthy and continue with treatment and do all of that.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Vila?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Ms. Fanu?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Gina, will you verify your address?
6443 Cedar Street, North Branch, Minnesota.
We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF 159, 25 TR 956 and 957, State of Wisconsin versus Eric Gustafson. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Vila in person. Mr. Gustafson appears in person with counsel Emma Hanu. We're set today in this matter for a status conference. Ms. Hanu, please update the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I have been able to review collateral attacks and legal defenses that could be applied in this case. I have not found any that we could go forward on trial with. What we would be asking for at this point is a plea and sentencing date. We would ask, Your Honor, Mr. Gustafson is, given the nature of the case, going to be in prison for a minimum of 18 months. He is currently receiving VA benefits that he will lose after 30 days of incarceration. He has a doctor's appointment for CPAP as well as his eyes. June 16th, we'd be asking to possibly set it out maybe 30 to 45 days after that to allow him to do that, as to not create an excess burden when he goes into incarceration.
All right, and so Mr. Gustafson, your attorney has went over everything with you that she has knowledge of, such as the facts of the case, the evidence, and she's went over with you your right to go to a jury and not go to a jury. Is that correct?
Yes,
And so now you have discussed all of this with Ms. Hanu. And is it my understanding that you're going to accept the offer of plead to count 1 OWI 5 or 6? The other 2 will either be merged and dismissed or dismissed. And then you understand that it would be an automatic mandatory prison sentence of at least 1.5 years of initial confinement with other extended supervision. Is that correct?
yes,
And so you're going to accept that and plead guilty.
yes, Your Honor.
And so you're just asking for some time to be able to get your affairs in order.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this is a Mr. Schmidt case,
Yes, Your Honor.
July 15 at 1.
I will be out at a conference at that time.
The rest of that week.
Pretty available.
Oh, so even that Thursday, the 16th at 1.
I could make that work.
Okay, Thursday, the 16th at 1 o'clock. We will schedule it for a plea and sentencing. All right, that is an immediate report. So that means that after you plead, you would immediately go into custody, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if something comes up and it's more of an urgent or emergency type situation, talk to your attorney. may be able to give you a little bit more time, but not too much time if something comes up. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right, let me verify your address. You're still in St. Paul
Yes,
on Thomas Avenue.
yes, Your Honor.
Telephone ends in 5594,
No, that's changed.
2816.
763, yeah, 2816.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, you can come get your notice and you are free to leave. That is an in-person appearance.
Yeah.
We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF 165, State of Wisconsin versus Jeremy Brown. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Vila in person. Mr. Brown appears in person with counsel Bruce Anderson. We're set here today in this matter for a status conference. Mr. Anderson, please update the court.
Yes, Judge. As of this time, we have not reached an agreement, and I do believe it's appropriate that I tell the court that I believe it is a trial case based on my investigation to date. I don't expect that to change.
All righty, do we have the lab analyst?
I just wanted to flag for the court, I haven't been able to send out discovery yet because no discovery demand's been filed on this case.
On your review of what you actually have in your hands and in the complaint and police report, that's your thought?
As well as discussions with people involved in the matter.
All right, so gonna do a discovery demand?
I will make one. I think I believe I have everything through my request to the state of Wisconsin DOT that should be the same reports, but I will make one.
Who is the analyst?
I am pulling it up now, Your Honor, one moment. Okay, this is the Wausau Crime Lab. The analyst is Lexus Hagedorn. Hagedorn, Haged, D is in David, O-R, and N is in Nancy.
And for Wausau.
That number appears to be 715.
Yeah, but what is the W number?
Oh, I have a CL number, so it's CL 25-07214.
All right, okay.
And while we're looking, Judge, I think this is likely a 2-day trial. Citizen witnesses and the like.
State Crime Lab, this is Sarah.
Hi, do you have a lab analyst named Lexus Hagedorn?
Yes, we do.
All right, off the record for scheduling. We need to schedule a 2-day trial with her for number 1. We don't yet have dates picked out, but we were just making sure.
Okay, what county is this?
Burnett
for?
County. This is Judge
Burnett.
Mogen in Burnett County. And it is CL 25-07214. And that would be State of Wisconsin versus Jeremy Brown.
Okay, got it.
I could do September 29 and 30.
Judge,
It
I'm
would be in number 2 both days.
Okay. All right, what about October 12th and 13th?
Number one, both days.
That works for Anderson.
All right, October 12 and 13, number one with Lexus Hagedorn. Contact information would be the district attorney's office in Burnett. If you need their number, it's 715-349-2167.
Okay, I'll get this added to her calendar as a number one, both days.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Back on the record, same appearances as previously noted. We've now scheduled the number one jury trial for October 12th and 13th with lab analyst Lexus Hagedorn. We need to schedule a final pre-trial, the drop dead date in which the court will not accept any other agreements. I can do September 1 at 1 o'clock.
Still looking. That works for Anderson.
All right, September 1 at 1 o'clock. Final pretrial. Anything else we need to add?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Anderson's going to be making a demand for discovery. He has his demand to the Department of Transportation. I think, anything else from you, Mr. Anderson?
On September 1, is that the final pretrial also?
Yes, that
Okay.
is the final pretrial.
Okay.
The drop dead date. You can come get your notice and you are free to leave. Thank you. Mr. Swenson? Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Here.
We will go on the record in the matter 25 CT 51, State of Wisconsin versus Matthew Swenson. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Vila in person. Mr. Swenson appears in person with counsel Bruce Anderson. We're set today in this matter for a status conference. Mr. Anderson, can you please update the court?
Judge, my client advises me that he has 2 more sessions to complete with Aurora Counseling, and then he will, as I understand it, be done with the programming necessary. I believe we are close to a resolution. He expects to be done with his programming. He says, I don't, he's June 1. I don't know. That's the.
I could do a plea and sentencing on June 19th at 10:45 or June 18th at 3. Have you set 48 consecutive hours? Oh, so you would need to do that. Is it better to sit that time on a Friday over the weekend? And then, because my guess is because you're doing the IDIP program, going to argue and tell the court you would like to have electronic monitor instead of jail.
Correct.
So would Friday be best? If that works for Mr. Anderson?
Neither day works. I'm in a second day of a trial with Judge Tolan in Polk County. It's number 1. And I have final pretrial in Polk County on a couple of matters on the morning of the 19th. And in the afternoon, I got motion hearings.
I could do July 15, pretty much any time, or July 16 at 1:30.
July 15th should work.
So if it is a Wednesday, Mr. Swenson, you could theoretically, if either in the morning or around 1 to 2 at the very latest, you could then technically be hooked up on that Friday on a monitor if that's what is going to be argued and accept.
Here's where the hearing shifts from paperwork to consequences. Notice that both the prosecution and the defense are actually on the same page. A 1-year probation recommendation with no restitution, largely because the store couldn't prove the exact financial loss. But here's the legal twist. A plea agreement is only a recommendation. The judge isn't required to follow it and can still impose additional conditions if they're justified. What do you think? Is probation the right outcome for a repeat shoplifting case like this, or should the punishment have been tougher?
Accepted by the court.
Yes, that should be fine.
So what time on Wednesday, the 15th?
Uh,
Want to do 9 a.m.?
I'll be doing a police shoot with them in the morning, probably, perhaps a little bit later.
11?
Sure.
11
Yeah,
o'clock?
That should be fine.
July 15, 11 o'clock, July 15. All right. Mr. Swenson and or Mr. Anderson, please make sure that Ms. Tessa Anderson is aware of that date and time and that she has a monitor already charged and ready to go.
Okay. Yep.
Okay? And come get your notice and you're free to leave. Mr. Benjamin? We will go on the record in the matters 25 CM 200, 25 FO 247, 25 TR 669 and 670, State of Wisconsin, County of Burnett versus Bronson Benjamin. The parties are all appearing in person, both councils as well as the state through Jose Vila, and Mr. Benjamin appears with Bruce Anderson. We're set for a plea and sentencing. Is this proceeding as such, Mr. Anderson? Has completed the IDIP.
We are not ready to go to plea and sentencing, and we'd like it. I've got to check one more thing with the jail and so on. Could we move this to just another plea date? We got it settled, basically. So July 15th date, we could put something else on there.
No, I would be able to do June 10th at 3 or June 11th at 2:30.
The time on June 10th again,
3.
I could make that one.
All right, June 10th at 3 o'clock. We will see you then. Everything's still the same, still in Mingleson Road.
Yes.
Telephone ends in 0168.
Yes.
All right, come get your notice and you're free to go. Thank you.
Contact Tessa and give the date.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I've instructed him to contact Ms. Anderson.
Okay, with the OWI too, I'm not as concerned because we could delay it if we need
Right.
to. All right, thank you. As soon as we get your attorney, Mr. Notnoki, we can go with you, but you're really early, which is good. We will go on the record in the matter 25 CF 147, State of Wisconsin versus Rita Wenzel. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Jose Vila in person. Ms. Wenzel appears in person with her counsel, Nicholas White. We're set here today in this matter for status conferences. Ms. Wenzel, I do have to remind you that you are $300 behind in your payments for Mr. White. And so you must get those caught up, and you have until, I will give you until May 20th. So not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday to catch up. Otherwise, I will be terminating him from the court appointment process, okay?
Judge, I could make that payment today.
Excellent. Thank you. Get that taken care of. Mr. White, can you give me an update, please?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Ms. Wenzel's been out of custody for some time now. She's been using her time effectively. She's shown me a GED certificate where the actual says HSED on it that she received on March 24th of this year. There's some other some other things that she's been working on, including getting a job and attending meetings for AODA and finding a sponsor